This is a special meeting of the Codes Fair and Farmers Market Committee. At this point in time, according to our agenda, Ms. Director Schlesinger, if you would come up, or Schlesinger, if you would, Womack, that's so much easier to say.
Yeah, that's why I got married, just so it's easy.
I think we'd all like to hear, when you were here before a couple of weeks, 3 weeks ago, you had addressed the upcoming issues of the race going on, with the flea market going on, with construction going on. Tell us how that all went. Oh, sorry.
Hello?
There you go.
Test. Is that good in the back? Honestly, it went fantastic. I tried to get some race figures before, but they had not been accounted for yet. They were doing the ticket reconciliation as I left. So I don't have numbers for you, but I will say that the stands were very, very full. We had a full day of racing. The rain was a little bit of a challenge, but as far as getting cars in and out, we had about 5,000 cars over the weekend that were paid. We had, of course, more cars on the property throughout the 3 days because we do have people who pay as a vendor, and then we also have free parkers. As far as the flea market went, we had a fantastic month. We had 636 dealers who had purchased 1,843 booths. So we had great foot traffic, and the flea market was fantastic. So the race was on Sunday. We had worked with both the flea market office and the race staff, the Speedway staff, in advance to coordinate traffic and pedestrian safety on Sunday so that we could get everybody in and out, and it went off without a hitch.
Excellent. Any further updates as to the next couple of months as we all move forward in the finishing of the fair park?
You know,
plan?
the next, we have one more race in June that will have both the flea market, but since we've made some adjustments. Originally, we had begun parking the vendors and their trailers out back in the pit. We moved them out front in anticipation of this conflict so that the Speedway could utilize the pit area during the race. Come to find out that the vendors very much liked the move, so we're going to be moving them permanently up front. So really there are no issues moving into even June when we have another flea market race weekend combined.
Excellent. Any questions from the committee? I was going to say, Ms. Gilmore, Councilman Sledge.
Hey, thank you, Chair. And I know I'm not on the committee, but obviously with this being in District 17, we did notice there was a good bit of traffic on Friday, so we figured that the weekend was going to be pretty productive. Can you give just a sense of what the ingress and egress is now, especially when we're doing multiple events on a weekend, so everybody knows?
Sure. So what we would do prior to Fair Parking Gate 6 closing off of Bransford, all of the vendors would come in through the Bransford gate and queue up there. So once that gate was closed, we opened 3 gates up top, up on the hill. So our vendors now queue off of Walsh Road, off into the parking lot area, so they're not blocking that Walsh Road area. We allow vendors to access the hill through what we call Racetrack Hill. We've got a entrance off of Rains that we ask that the larger trailers over 24 feet access that route up. And then we ask the outdoor vendors, those in Wilson Hall, and those in the sports arena to enter in Benton. So we've got 3 active entrances that we keep open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they prefer that much better than coming in the Bransford gate. So I do anticipate, even when the park is done, us continuing with that entrance and egress because the vendors prefer it.
Thank you, Director Womack. Anybody else? Oh, Mr. Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Laura, for being here. Taking advantage of your being here, just a couple of background questions. The stadium capacity for racing is how big?
Well, I get, the grandstands is about just under 15,000. I've heard 14,800, but that doesn't include the pit area and the infield because there are, pit crews and family and friends that buy pit passes that are down in that area too. So that capacity is actually larger than
the
that.
14,800.
Yes.
And then how many race dates do we have coming up this year?
We have 8 with the current promoter, 9 with a drift event that they are producing in July. And then we also have the ARCA race, which is a separate contract with the Fair Board on April 7th. So that would be 10.
That would be 10 race dates. And would the Fair Board in an ideal world have more race dates? I mean, would you like to see that extended, the utilization of the track extended?
That was the plan going into the RFP. And how the contract is written is 8 dates with the ability to add 2 more, which is the way the contract's written is right now the Fair Board, as of the end of last year, still held on to 2 contracts. With this new Speedway contract with the new promoter, they have become the exclusive motorsports producer, essentially taking us out of that business and transferring that over to the Fairground Speedway.
So they have the ability to do more dates under their contract?
They do.
Okay.
They do, but it is limited per their RFP submission, and that's written in the contract.
And what is that limited to? So it's between 10 and how many days?
I believe 12, if I'm not mistaken.
Just between 10 and 12.
A couple more.
And then the attendance has been fairly consistent and good. Are we able to hit that, to fill it up, that 14,000? I should have been there last weekend. I know I wasn't there.
Like I said, I was hoping to have more firm numbers from the promoter before I came. But I can get you that if you're interested in the average attendance.
No reason to think that racing itself wouldn't bring 100, maybe on the order of 150,000 people to the fairgrounds in the course of a year.
I think on a normal, this is the first race of the season, and it's always very well attended. Probably the largest attended race out of the season, as I understand it from the promoters. There are some races that bring in, say 1,500 people, but this one was certainly
Huge.
surpassed that.
Okay. And then the capital request in the contract with the fairgrounds, I mean, right now it's just a cash lease that we've entered into with the racing promoter?
That's correct. It's a set lease payment, and they've also committed to $500,000 in major maintenance and capital improvements to the track.
In the course of
over the 5-year term.
Over the 5-year term. But is there the thought that it needs a lot more than $500,000? But we're in no way obligated to put that up, I understand. They're just going to do that as part of our compensation.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. But just $500,000 for that. And then
that's what they've committed to is $500,000.
That's what they've committed to. And to put in more, we would have to have a different lease? Or nothing's going to happen for the next 4 years because we're in a 5-year lease and they're just putting in $500,000 and they've got up to 12 dates a year.
Well, I would, if I'm understanding your question, is it limited and it can't go beyond 500?
Well, there's no incentive for that. I mean, to get more than $500,000 from their money spent on the racetrack, you wouldn't be doing it under this lease, right? Because that's been negotiated.
True, but if they were in a position and came to us and said, we want to do this project that's not necessarily spelled out, I think we would absolutely work really hard to accommodate that.
And one other question, thank you, I'm grateful for you to being here. What do other tracks, how many dates do other tracks have?
Honestly, sir, I could not answer that. I know, I actually just read an article today where it was all about short tracks and trying to get back to that short track. Investing more and but
Well,
I'm not the best one to answer that question.
Well, when it comes up, I would love any insight that you have into that.
Sure,
because obviously we've got an asset we want to utilize. It needs investment, and there may be more opportunity for the race fan to be there than we're currently allowing for that to happen. Thank you very much.
Councilman Glover.
Thank you, Chair. Just very briefly, one want to make sure we're on the racetrack, and so I'll make sure I stay within that arena of the question. So a 5-year lease is what was offered. Was there a reason we didn't extend it, considering we're thinking about much longer leases in other aspects of the fairgrounds?
We were limited to a 60-month lease based on current procurement contracting requirements.
Okay, somebody's going to, because apparently I just don't understand that. So somebody help me understand. Under current procurement, we can only do 60 months on this, but we're talking about something, and we'll get into this other question down the road, but 60 months is all we can do here. So help me understand, please.
Okay, Councilman, the standard limit on doing contracts for Metro is for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You can go beyond 5 years, but it requires Metro Council approval. So someone would have to bring that contract to Metro Council to extend it beyond 60 months.
Interesting. So let me just make sure I get this piece of it right. In order to exceed a 5-year contract, it would have to come to the Metro Council before any contract could be entered, and we would have to approve that particular lease for X number of years greater than 60 months.
That's accurate.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. And Chair, you realize I have a workshop I'm doing tonight, so I'll have to leave at some point early, but thank you. Thank you, Director.
Understood, Councilman. Councilman Cooper? Oh, okay. Thank you, Director Womack. Moving right along, Director Odom, can you give us an update on the construction progress?
Good evening. Thank you for having me here. Well, work continues on construction of Fair Park. Can you hear me? On construction of Fair Park, despite all of the rain over the past couple of months. Grading has started at the park. They've started on the building of the restroom building. Some of the roadways have been constructed, and work continues on the stormwater improvement features. We are looking forward to a completion date of this time next year, next spring, for play, but also working toward looking forward to completion of some of the roadways and parking in time for the state fair this year. So that's where we are right now.
Questions for Director Odom? Councilman Glover?
Okay, so the MOU has now been signed between the parks and the Fair Board, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and what's the limit of time on that agreement?
It's a 5-year period of time.
So at the end of 5 years, if they so chose to not let you guys stay there, not a big deal, but you have an agreement to pay for, do all the things that the park would be responsible with.
Right, maintain.
Okay. So 5 years is good for the racetrack, and 5 years is good for you guys.
I think that the intention, particularly of the MOU, with it being an agreement between departments, is for us to give us an opportunity to revisit it before the 5-year limit came.
Okay.
And renew it.
That's fine. I'm just trying to make sure I understand how everything works. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Anyone else? Councilman Cooper?
Hey, Mr. Chairman. If you'd start out from the beginning a little bit, the money to build Fair Park is from the Parks Department's budget.
Correct.
Okay. And the 5-year agreement is a lease?
No, it's an MOU.
It's an MOU
between the Parks Board and the fair.
But you're using Parks money on fairground property.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Why wouldn't the Fair Board have been spending money on its own property? Why did Parks have to come in and spend its money on the fair property?
Well, it's a city project, and we were brought in as a partner. True, the property is not being transferred to Parks, so it is not Parks property. We will maintain it as a park.
So you have to both build it and have I mean, again, as we've talked, there are a lot of parks that need maintenance
Sure.
Around the county. But so you're both building it and maintaining it out of the parks budget, even though it is on untransferred fair board land?
Correct.
Which has been an independent entity, the fair board. I mean, don't they have title to their own property?
Yeah, as far as I know, yes.
Okay. Okay. But originally was a state authority and then over time has become a separate. But not parks property. I mean, it's never
Right,
been
it's not
cited
assigned
as,
to the Parks
as
Department.
park
Correct.
property. Okay. Well, why wouldn't the General Services Administration have executed? I mean, it builds stuff for us. Why did it need to be parks?
They don't build parks. And in fact, an example is the Southeast Community Center out that was Hickory Hollow.
Right.
And there's a library there, community center there, and General Services operates that building, and they take care of the grounds, and they take care of those grounds in particular, but not
So when we,
parks.
but didn't we appropriate money in the capital spending fund for improvements at the fair site? Didn't we appropriate that for the fair board? Two different pots. Okay, great. So how much money did you spend,
How much did
or
been
will you
appropriated?
spend? Will
were-
parks be spending on the fair property
$6 million.
You'll
So
be-
there were two appropriations of $3 million.
for parks at the fair? Have $6 million, and then what do you think your annual extra maintenance cost will be for the 5 years of the term?
I really don't know. We have requested some additional funding. I mean, we've had expansions all over the system, so we will absorb the fair park project into the system. We've requested some on-site maintenance, storage, and things like that.
Well,
So
since you're maintaining some of it, will the fair board have less maintenance costs?
they will not maintain the parks property.
Well, they're not maintaining your part, but
Right.
formerly, once upon a time, they looked after all of it.
Oh, I
Now
see.
they're looking after less of it. So in theory, they will need less money to look after less of it?
I don't know. That's the question for
Do you
them.
think there'll be some savings there because the Parks Department is maintaining some of your property? Okay, but you're mowing the rest of it? Yes. Okay, all right. And parks will have to bring in mowers to mow their part of it
maintain
now?
those fields.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Councilman Glover?
Just a couple of quick other questions that came to mind once the conversation began with Councilman Cooper. So when exactly did this idea begin, and when was I'm going to go ahead and call it the idea executed? We all know the MOUs weren't signed prior to the work being done, so let's forget that piece of it right now. But when was it decided that this was a good idea to spend $6 million at the fairgrounds?
I can't give you the exact date. I know my predecessor Tommy Lynch, was involved in meetings on this before he left last year in March. So I can't give you the exact date. And he did make the Parks Board aware of the project. And then in FY 17 and 18, we received appropriations for this particular project.
Okay, so would it be safe to say, and I want to be very cautious on the way I say this because I don't want to ask you to answer something that you're not certain of, but would it be safe to say that within the last 2 or 3 years, this idea probably came up, now has come to fruition and has been executed by your commission and the Fair Park? Is that maybe a safe guess?
It's possible.
Okay.
I don't have an exact
Okay.
time.
The reason I'm asking the question is because I'd really like to find that out, because $6 million spent there at the fairgrounds. I'm not certain anybody would necessarily say it's a bad idea, but I know what people on my side of town are saying. We bought Ravenwood and farmland out there a long, long time ago, and we're wondering, that $6 million, could it have given us a park out in Hermitage as opposed to something at the fairgrounds right now. And so this is just another example of where we're just trying to make sure we understand the equity. And then I want to just ask one quick question for Mr. Jameson. Mr. Jameson, it is a known fact before you enter contracts with Metro with regards to anything related to Metro property that 60 months, 5 years is the extent of what you get. And outside of that, until this council, until this body votes on it, then you need to make sure we vote first before you think about maybe entering into those types of contracts.
At any given time. Now, a policy or a contract can be renewed that goes beyond 5 years.
Right. But if from the onset, if we're going to expand it beyond 60 months, it's got to come to this body first before anything could be signed or agreed upon.
If it's going to be beyond 5 years at the outset, it would have to come before council.
Okay, perfect. Once again, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Council Lady Allen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Ms. Odom, for being here. I've had soccer teams in my neighborhood begging for a place to play, and they're happy to drive across town to wherever new fields are. So I expect that they're going to be thrilled when these things are finally ready. Do you know what the plan is for how these will be used? Will local teams be able to reserve space, or will leagues be able to reserve space? What's the plan for that?
They'll be permitted the same way that we permit all of the existing multipurpose fields. So people can, leagues or private individuals can call and make reservations for the field and to get permits for the space.
Gotcha. And can they do that like for a season? Can they say this season we're going to need it these 5 Fridays?
They can.
They can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we're excited. We're going to use it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Councilman Sledge.
Thank you, Chair. I think maybe I can provide some clarification that I think the Parks Director was being asked regarding kind of how this came about. I asked for it. Within about 60 days of getting elected, I went to the administration and said, I'd love to see some investment in the fairgrounds because it's in the district I represent, and it's hopefully going to serve the people I represent. So with that being said, I feel like this has come, if I hadn't asked for it, it probably wouldn't have come about because I think it's an important thing to do. It's an important thing to create accessible space for people in that area, in one of the poorest districts in the city. And so I thought that it was possibly a good idea, and I think enough folks have agreed. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Cooper?
Oh, thank you, and thank you for that, Councilman. Super quick question, just finishing this out. Thank you, Monique. When did the Parks Board approve the expenditure of the project?
The Parks Board does not approve expenditures.
When did it approve the project?
It didn't approve the project. As I mentioned, my predecessor, Mr. Lynch, made the Parks Board aware of the project, and then the project team, overall project team, did a presentation to the Parks Board last year, I believe.
So the $6 million,
Yes.
very helpful to the Fair Park and demonstrating a need by the district councilman.
Right.
The Parks Board has never been involved in a formal approval of this.
Of expenditures of the money,
Of-
no, and
of this.
that is typical of all of the capital projects. And
So the Parks Board never approves the expenditure of capital money?
correct.
Does
Correct.
it approve the expenditure of operating money?
No, it does not. And I'll just add that it does not approve the expenditure when the appropriation is made. That's general approval to move forward, for the staff to move forward with.
Well, when do you know to sign the check? You know, it's coming through you, the Parks Board. The Parks Board itself doesn't apparently meet to approve this. Somebody's sending you a request for money. When do you know to sign the check? Who tells you that's good, let's sign that?
When we get invoices that are circulated, first to the finance department, and it comes through, we confirm that work has been done, and then.
And who's confirming the work? There's an inspector?
No, we have a Parks Department employee who is assigned to that particular project and attends the biweekly meetings to make sure that progress is moving forward. And the project management team has met with folks on our staff in particular about particular features of the park.
So the invoice comes from finance to you, or doesn't even come over to you? Finance signs it?
No.
It goes to
Circulate.
Parks for approval, but the board never approves it.
No, the park board does not approve.
Okay, so the bill comes in, it comes over to you, the board didn't approve it, but in effect, then you approve it
I would review it.
and review it, and then in effect, sign it.
Yes.
And pay for it, and then that
Yes.
comes back and finance finds the money to pay it. Okay. And this is completely the normal course of business for every dollar that's flowed through the Parks Department, is that the board is fundamentally not involved in the spending of the capital money.
Well, I'll say fundamentally not involved, but we do have a finance committee of the park board that we keep informed about expenditures and projects. So they're not in the dark, but they do not approve individual invoices and expenditures.
Okay, so what is their responsibility as board members?
The park board sets policy.
Sets policy, okay, but and no expenditures. And policy is a kind of a general goal for the Parks Department and the county. I mean, the Parks Board isn't sitting there saying, gee, we need, we're over-investing in this park and we need more money over here, and let's come up with a recommendation.
They're not, but they
Okay.
certainly could.
They certainly could, okay, in the new era. Well, thank you for pointing that out, okay. Grateful.
Thank you, Councilman Cooper. And your question is a great segue into a report from the Finance Department concerning allocation of funds from the Fair Park Plan. Ms. Lomax O'Neill.
Good afternoon, everybody. We have, in the Finance Department, we received several records requests in terms of for specific documentation. And what has been provided to the Metro Council, I'm just going to kind of go through the list. You'll see my binder here is very thick, and I've got a second one downstairs. We were asked to provide a list of invoices that for the fairgrounds and parks properties, and we have provided the Metro Council a summary document by fund and as well as by vendor, and the backup documentation to support each of those transactions. We were also asked to provide copies of contracts for Atkinson and Associates Architects, Commonwealth, and Skanska, and that has been provided to the Metro Council. And we were asked to provide a listing and supporting documentation for every payment made to Commonwealth Development for any project, regardless of whether or not that was for the fairgrounds or other projects managed by Metro, and that has been provided to the Metro Council in the supporting documentation. There was another request regarding information regarding arena fund payments, and Mr. Riebling provided a letter to explain what payments had been paid out of the arena fund, and it's my understanding that is in the neighborhood of about $135,000. And I will take any questions that you have, but we were just asked to supply lots and lots of data, and that has been supplied, and everyone who is involved, I guess, in the various approval flows, because these transactions, as Councilman Cooper said, they go in a whole lot of different directions, and lots of people see them. They are available in the room to help me with any questions that you may have regarding any of the detail.
Thank you. Councilman Glover?
Thank you, Chair. I think one of the things that's been very confusing to me when I've seen some of the emails, when I've seen some of the invoices, et cetera, apparently, Mr. Atkinson, am I saying that right?
It's Atkinson, I think.
Atkinson, okay. They actually have Metro Nashville email addresses, and they actually, it almost appears it's coming from budget and finance.
And
Really
that-
confusing for those of us who don't quite understand what that relationship is.
And that's very common for metro contractors, just for ease of communication. When they come on board, if they're going to be here for an extended period of time, the ITS department will set them up a nashville.gov email address, because sometimes they deal with firewall issues and things like that. So that's really just to expedite the communication flow so that documents don't get stuck maybe through firewalls and things like that. That's very common for contractors throughout Metro.
Okay, and is it also common for it to look as though it's coming from the budget and finance department when those things occur?
In terms of, what you mean, just if it says finance department? That just depends on which department sends the request to ITS. They will attach that email address to a department.
Okay, and I've reviewed, and I'm still going through the documents because obviously I was one of the ones who asked for a number of these things. So to be very clear on who was asking, I did.
Okay.
And the reason I did is because it was confusing to me, and still confusing to me when I read this, and I see it's got a Metro email address to it, and then it looks like it's signed off by two individuals who are not employees of, and then I hear, well, there was an electronic signature given, there was a this, there was a that provided to it, and I'm really not trying to be, too spaced out there on the way I'm asking the question. It's just the challenging part is understanding if they're signing off on their own invoices and sending them in and they're getting paid, I'm trying to figure out where exactly is our checks and balances, number one. Number two, I'll go back and thank you, Councilman, for letting me know that when you got elected, you thought it was great to have a fair park in your district there. We did Ravenwood in about my first year and a half when I was just first elected, which is about 7 years ago now. And for whatever reason, we haven't gotten there. So I'll figure out what exactly we need to do to push. And there's some other things that occurred before the Dean administration actually left the building. So I will try and take your lead, and believe me, I will become much more aggressive. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councilman.
Did you want me to address that question, Councilman? In terms of the checks and balances, what you may be seeing is an approval through an email form. Behind that, there would be an actual invoice that is submitted through our accounting system. So those individuals in that email aren't necessarily going into the accounting system, and they, quite frankly, don't even have access to the accounting system. Some of these people that have been given these network email IDs, they can't get into the accounting system to do the actual approval of the transaction. So what you'll see is that the actual transactions are being approved by departmental personnel such as Director Odom or perhaps Director Womack, and then those go back through finance after we get the departmental approvals. But for instance, Mr. Adama would not have the ability to go into the system to approve the transaction himself and issue the check without a Metro employee and officials signing off on that transaction. Is that helpful?
It's helpful, but I think what would be even more helpful, as I've been going through the paperwork, I don't really see where the director of the various departments have signed off. Maybe I'm missing something, so we'll do it offline. If you can help me dumb myself down to where I can kind of figure some of this stuff out, that'd be great.
We absolutely have it. We could show you some examples of that in the workflow approvals, because all of this is automated in the accounting system where it escalates to only certain individuals can approve a transaction. For example, if a bill came through for Ms. Odom to approve for Ms. Womack over here in the fairgrounds, she couldn't approve it.
Okay.
Because she only has access to approve transactions for the Parks Department.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councilman Cooper?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you didn't mind, thank you for being here and the professionalism of finance. What is the Arena Fund?
Okay. The proper description of that is I don't know what you want to call it, but we will deposit specific funds in this account that are dedicated for sports facilities. Okay?
Okay, and
Some of the
this,
examples
okay,
of the funding that goes in there are seat use charges.
okay, this is a Sports Authority charge? Okay,
Yes.
so the Arena Fund is from the Sports Authority?
It's under the purview of the Sports Authority, and there are certain revenue sources that are dedicated to go into that arena fund.
But like Parks doesn't really approve any of the expenditures, does the Sports Authority ever approve any of the disbursement?
Yes, yes. And for the specific transaction that Mr. Riebling wrote the letter about, that was an aberration from what normal process would be.
That he approved something that they had control over, but what
Yes.
wasn't controlling, and it was a mistake.
Yes.
Well, okay, the last I saw of the arena, in a way, last June, it was not in the CIB. It was specifically taken out of the CIB, the request. So how did we spend money on an arena planning for something that was not even in the CIB?
These are not CIB dollars, okay? These are just other revenues that are placed in it. Those are dedicated revenue sources. The Metro government has hundreds of dedicated revenue funds. I mean, Kim, is it hundreds?
Right.
Well, 50 or whatever. I mean, there are many funds out there where you have dedicated revenue streams, where when the revenue comes in, it is just deposited to those funds for a specific purpose.
Okay. Why would we think then that this is an aberration of having no actual authorization by the governing authority for money that they were collecting for a use that was not approved of by this council?
Well, the aberration, everything else that that goes through there has been approved through finance and the Sports Authority.
Everything?
Almost. That's what I'm saying. So in that situation.
Well, how do we know almost? Has this been sampled? Has it been audited?
Yes, I just asked my staff to go through an entire transaction list. So this is an aberration from the
Okay.
from the norm.
So you
of
can
what
make
we see.
that work product available to us?
Yes.
And that's why Kim wonderfully is able to say it's hundreds of dedicated accounts and thousands of expenditures from those hundreds of accounts?
And I said hundreds. I'd like for her to just, it's probably less than 100, Kim.
All right. Well, let's go back to this one. Here, the council takes it out of the CIB. Okay.
The CIB really,
Understand, but at no point.
it's not related to
So,
this.
so operating money equally is not, I mean, was that money in the Sports Authority, that operating budget that we approved last year, was there a line in there for arena planning in the operating budget? No, not in the CIB or in the operating budget. So how'd it get spent? But the Sports Authority didn't know about it.
Go ahead, John, you may want to take that question.
You're on. Oh, no, sorry.
So did you mean the funds spent for arena planning?
Yeah.
The Sports Authority authorized those expenditures.
So,
and they
and-
have the authority under state law to use their funds for those purposes.
Well, in the Sports Authority budget, operating budget, FY18, was there an arena planning line?
No, there was not.
So they might have had the authority, John, but they didn't use it. They didn't authorize it.
The Sports Authority did. I could think
Well,
of
the
it.
Sports Authority might have had the authority, but they never exercised the authority, is what you're saying.
Just for that one piece for the 135,000 is the only gap that we've been able to identify.
Well, okay, but you're saying they had the authority to do it, but they didn't do it. Somebody else did it with their money. Okay. There was not a line in the operating budget. There was not a capital improvement budget line because it was taken out of the CIB. This seems pretty material. And, all right, well,
Well, I'll just tell you,
okay. Well, who is now looking into this for finance? And should it be Mark Swan at audit, who is sampling sort of separate authority accounts for which they're gaining, some authority over? I mean, here Parks is saying, I thought Parks had something to do with it, money that it spent, and I'm told today it doesn't.
Yeah.
But the Sports Authority does.
Yeah, I mean, I would say in terms of Mr. Swan, all of these 50 so accounts that Kim mentioned just a moment ago, he identifies those funds on occasion and goes in and he does audits.
Okay. But it might be something that you would want to recommend to the committee to look into.
Yeah, because Mr. Swan, he knows where all these funds are. I can assure you of that.
But if there's no operating budget approval in FY18 and money is spent for use and there's no CIB approval and it's not capital funds, it would seem to be the kind of omission that audit would naturally be asked to focus on. But thank you very much. I appreciate this, and I appreciate Kim, as always, for beginning to do some of the...
If we need to provide you that follow-up, just let us know, Councilman.
Oh, please, if you would. Thank you.
Thank you. Council Lady Allen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to follow up on that, I mean, when I look back at proposed operating budgets that were given, the line items are pretty broad and general. And the Sports Authority doesn't necessarily give us 100 different categories of how they're going to spend their money. Is there, and I don't have the budget book in front of me, but I'm guessing with...
Explain. I'm sorry.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Can I jump in, Councilman?
Please do.
What you will see in the budget ordinance that's been appropriated, of course, are the 6 budgeted funds. And then there is a section in the budget ordinance also that has what we call budgeted funds. And within there's probably about 2 pages listed in the operating budget ordinance where we are actually making appropriations to specific funds, where we feel an appropriation is necessary because we're not sure whether or not the budget authorization exists because of various laws and what have you. So what is happening is for those that we do believe that the authorization currently exists for those funds to be appropriated or used, those are not included in that master list. So each year before the budget is filed, we literally go through each of those funds and do a comprehensive look at which ones need to be included in the budget ordinance. Those are special revenue funds.
And this is an example of a special revenue fund here. And you were going to say what feeds into this particular fund. That would be helpful to me to understand.
The types of things that are going into this fund include there's a transfer actually into the fund from the general fund for the Sports Authority for maintenance. It's that $3 million amount. We've got revenue coming in there for the Register of Deeds, where they rent space down there in the arena. I'm just going to give you some examples of some of the revenue items. Rent from the Ford Ice Center is an example. There's a small amount in here from Sirius Radio. Then the types of costs that you will see occurring in here are some small utilities, some bank fees, payments to Powers Management for running those facilities are coming out of this fund.
And those are items that we wouldn't necessarily have seen in the budget because they're part of a larger
But the
fund.
piece, for example, where I talked about the general fund allocation, you'll see that in the budget.
Where it moves
and
into that fund.
what happens is that just gets transferred over to here to make the payments. So you'll see that authorized and allocated in the budget before you.
Okay, that's helpful.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Council Lady. Councilman Glover.
I don't think I really realized that it was still pushed. I'm waiting for the comments and questions because I've only got a few more minutes left, and so I'll look forward when we move to that piece of the agenda.
And Ms. Lomax O'Neill, if you'll just stay right there because you're probably going to get some more questions here. Let's move on to exactly that point.
Okay, thank you, Chair. All right, so you said something else very interesting to me. So Register of Deeds pays rent at the arena, correct?
Yes.
How much does Commonwealth pay?
I'm not aware of that personally.
Music City Center.
I don't.
We can find that out, though, right? And find out if they, in fact, do
I've seen some
pay.
things in the press, but, Commonwealth would have to take that as a question
Okay.
if they pay rent.
Well, if you got line items that say that the Register of Deeds, you're collecting money for that, I would assume there's a line item for how much Commonwealth is paying at the Music City Center. There's a lot of irregularities here that I think are very disturbing, very troubling. So I certainly would like to see that. One other thing, Chair, if I may, as you know, one councilman and myself filed a resolution to absolutely approve, to say, do the funding for the soccer stadium. I think there's been some miscommunication, though, in that we didn't say we take it away from the fairgrounds. And one of the reasons I've drilled down on these, how long are these contracts? How long is this? How long is that? Is because I firmly felt like I did understand when we start exceeding greater than 60 months. So if somebody thought outside of their realm of reality, then that was probably a mistake, number one. Number two, we're not saying in this new resolution that the fairgrounds is absolutely gone. I think we need to have some real conversations, though, with regards to how we're utilizing the taxpayers' money, how we're utilizing the taxpayers' property that they bought with their tax dollars over the course of these many years. And I know that the Pro Tem is going to be looking in that heavily, and I appreciate that. I know that Budget and Finance will be looking into it very heavily. But I do appreciate the fact that we got, I think, very clear answers today. The minute we exceed a 60-month lease, then it comes to this body first. And anybody who assumes that you can do something beyond that amount of time has done exactly that assumed, and I think we know where that all lands us. So with that, Chair, I apologize for having to leave, but thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Councilman. Anyone else? We're going to get out of here early, kids. Ms. Lomax O'Neill, let me clarify something here, because I think we've kind of danced around an issue here that I just want to make sure that specifically the constituents watching this understand what's happening here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the $132,617.25 that seems to be in question, and I'll put in question in quotes for you, or the aberration, as you have referred to it as, it did not come out of any account for the fair park plan, correct?
That's correct.
And instead, it came out of the, what we're calling the SBA Public Facilities Arena Revenue Account?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So the aberration exists that the stadium, or the Sports Authority, has just failed to approve those expenditures, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And is it in the Sports Authority's plan, to your knowledge, to actually retroactively approve those expenditures?
That's my understanding, I think, from Mr. Riebling, is that he was going to work with the Sports Authority to take those, a list of those details back to them for their consideration.
Thank you. Anyone else before we adjourn? Good. Ms. Lomax O'Neill, Director Odom, Director Womack, thank you all very much for coming, and we are adjourned.